Hello there, friends. Good morning. I am so excited to be here today. Today we are celebrating the box of the month for the Not Too Shabby Shop. This kit is called Sunflowers and Honey. And if you wanted to follow along with the hop, you can go ahead and search hashtag N2S Sunflowers and Honey. And also, I wanted to mention that there is a giveaway for this hop. All that you have to do is follow along with the hop, comment down below, and visit the link down below to register for an entry. Okay, so let's get started. So before we get into the card, I wanted to share a little close-up of what's included in the kit. In this kit, I really adore it. I love the colors. I love the theme. I'm such a big fan of bees and honey, and this is just perfect for me. So here is the first stamp set that's included with the kit. And there's a second one. Actually, there's three, which is a great deal. I love this one here with the little honey bear on the bottom. Along with the three stamps, there is some ephemeras. And there are so many good pieces here to work with. You can create so many different cards with this. And you also receive 2 paper pads. And the paper pads here are great. I love all of the watercolor effects that some of it has. I just love how each pad coordinates with the stamp set. Everything in the kit is so cohesive, which I love. It makes it easy to work with. You don't have to think about whether if this paper matches with that or if this stamp matches with that. Everything's pretty much laid out for you, which is great. I guess that's one good thing about subscription kits. Okay, so now that you have kind of an overview of what's included in the kit, we're going to go ahead and start on the card that I created. This card uses a lot of the masking technique, and if you haven't noticed, I love doing that technique and I love coloring. So this stamp set, I just knew I had to do it. I love the sunflower stamp in this set. So what I did was I am using a white cardstock here, and this one is Copic marker friendly. And if you're interested, I will list all of the products that I use down below. So going in, I stamped one of the sunflowers down below. And in order to create the masking effect, I also stamped it on masking paper. So here you can see that I'm using my fussy cutting scissors, and I'm just cutting out the sunflower out of the masking paper. And once I finish cutting that out, and I place that over the stamped image that I stamped onto the white cardstock. Doing this would help kind of create a block off in a sense. So when you apply the masking paper and you continue to stamp on over the masking paper onto the cardstock, it's kind of creating a little barrier. So the ink that you don't want to appear on the white cardstock is getting blocked off with the masking paper. I hope that makes sense, but you'll get a better idea here once I continue to do that. And here's another tip as well. When I'm doing a lot of masking, I like to use this grid transparency sheet here. Or you can use like a recycled piece of plastic, a recycled piece of acetate. That works great as well. What that piece is used for here is to prevent any kind of ink from smudging your cardstock when you're trying to get the placement right without having to clean your stamp every single time. And I admit sometimes I'm a lazy crafter and I don't want to have to do that every single time, especially with the masking technique. You're using the same stamp over and over and over again. So having this acetate or transparent sheet here makes it easier to work with. So every time I'm using that, I'm removing that out the way and I'm stamping the sunflower on. And each sunflower I created a mask for. So I place the mask over that, and then I re-stamp the sunflower on an area that I wanted to place it. And I continue the process throughout the bottom of the card panel. And once that was completed, I wanted to ink blend. And then this is great because since the sunflowers are already masked off, I don't have to worry about the inks getting all over the sunflowers. So going in with some of my Distress Oxide inks, I used my blending brush and blended out a background scene. Initially, when I was designing this card in my mind, I wanted to color in the sunflowers. But when I created this background, I just fell in love with the background and didn't want to take anything away from it. That's something that I love about creating. It's like you have one design in your mind, and then when you're going at it, you kind of take a different route and then it turns out even better than what you imagine. So this is how I felt after creating this card. I'm not sure if you guys go through that same process, but I would love to know if you do. Just comment down below and share some of your stories with me. Okay, so I wanted to add a little more interest onto my background scene. So going in with some white paint, I splattered that all over the card panel. And here is the best part, removing the masking paper off of your card panel. I love doing this process because you could see all of the nice crisp lines underneath it. The thing about the masking paper is it's a little tricky removing it if it's a little damp. And since I splattered the background with the paint, it kind of created a little bit of moisture on the top of it. So it made removing the masking paper a little difficult, but you can still do it. All that you have to do is just remove it very gentle. So as you can see here, I'm taking my time and I'm removing the masking paper off of the card panel. Actually, you know what? I think it depends on the masking paper because this one is a new one that I just ordered and honestly, I don't really like it as much as the other one that I've been using. I've been using the Gina K masking paper and that one I love. That one doesn't give me this problem at all and I totally forgot about that. But I won't recommend this one down below. I'll go ahead and recommend the Gina K masking paper. Okay, so now going in and placing my sentiment onto my card panel. I like using this alignment guide. This one is from Inkblot Shop and it's nice because it has all the grids down and it's a nice sturdy plastic. So this is kind of like what stencils are made out of. As you can see here, I placed that on top of my card panel and used my sentiment and lined that up with the grids. And the grids are so easy to see. And this alignment guide is definitely a game changer for me. It makes it so much easier to have straight sentiment. And that's kind of what I'm really bad at. Like a lot of the times I'm creating a card and the sentiment comes out a little wonky and I'm just like, oh no, I had to redo the entire thing over. That's happened to me several times. I went ahead and heat embossed the sentiment in gold embossing powder. And again, I will link everything down below, all of the information on the stamp sets that I use and embossing powder if you're interested. And making sure that my heat gun is nice and hot, I heat set that. To create a little more interest onto my card front, I went in with one of the honeybee stamps from the stamp set and I stamped that throughout the card panel using black ink. Then going in with the trail stamp, I went in and stamped that behind the bumblebees. Okay, now going in with my favorite stitch rectangle. This one is from Lawn Fawn and I ran that through my die cutting machine. And to finish off the card front before adhering it to a card base, I went in with some of my embellishment. This one is from Picket Fence Studios and I adhered it onto the card front with liquid adhesive. And that completes the card. I hope you found this tutorial useful and please don't forget to comment and subscribe. I would love to have your support. And again, all of the information for the giveaway and the YouTube hop is listed down below in the description. Okay, until next time, have a wonderfully blessed day. Bye-bye.